to the second talk on this session, which is going to be focused on Turkish higher education system and e-learning experience after the pandemic. And this is going to be delivered by Professor Ahmet Salih Ikiz. He is a professor of economics, Faculty of Economics and Administrative Science, Muğla, Sitki, Kocman University, Turkey. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And also many thanks for your perfect pronunciation for my surname, and also Muğla as well. I think you are a bit familiar with Turkish. Thank you.
My wife is Turkish.
Oh, excellent! Really?
Anishta. Yeah, welcome.
That's why you. Okay, because it's not easy to pronounce some parts. Yeah, thank you. It's really good.
Thank you.
Just greetings from Turkey, from the colleagues from all around the world. I'd like to convey my thanks to Professor Allah Ahmet, with whom we organized the conference 2015. It was a pleasure. For those who are not aware where the Muğla is, much familiar with the western coast of Turkey. It's many know you Marmaris, Fethiye, and Bodrum. Anyway, it's close there. It's the back there is a picture of a campus, and today I will discuss some parts and of the. I think we start, huh?
Yes, please.
And then this is the. Okay. And just a bit history of Turkish education system. It's just the historical roots of our country's higher education dates back to Ottoman times. It's the establishment of the most significant educational institutions of the period. Sahn-ı Seman, founded by Mehmet the Conqueror after the conqueror of the Istanbul. And the higher education institutes that can be associated with the concept of university in contemporary meaning commenced their studies in the 18th century with the modernization efforts of Ottoman sultans. As is well known, universities have assumed important functions such as meeting the education, research, and human research requirements of states in the last 2 centuries. And after the foundation of the Turkish Republic, before that, there's some efforts, especially in Sultan Mahmud, to westernize Turkish higher education system. That's why Imperial School of Military Engineering, established in 1795, today this institution is constituted as the predecessor of Istanbul Technical University. Higher education institutions opened until the Tanzimat were arranged to generate the skills needed mostly for military in a way that reflects the nature of the early period of Ottoman modernization. This is the picture. It's not Istanbul Technical University, it's the Istanbul University, which I will give much more info later on. This is the main campus. Maybe Alam, you may remember, we had a dinner close to there and we walked through there. It's actually used to be Ministry of Defense during the Ottoman times. It's in Aksaray, where we stayed. And this is the picture of Istanbul University. The first university established after the foundation of the Turkish Republic is it's the Turkish Republic in 1923, Istanbul University. This is followed by Ankara University in our capital. The main issue is I have to touch a bit there. The Jewish German scholars who has migrated young republic, Turkish Republic, after the Hitler regime and made enormous contribution to Turkish higher education at the end of 1930s till the late 1940s. Until the 1980s, the Turkish universities were quite decentralized and had different structures. Different payment schedules till 1980, different laws, different applications. But the 1981, the Council of Higher Education was established by law number 2547 in November 6, 1981. This law commenced the restructuring process of academic, institutional, and administrative aspects in higher education. This is the main building, the center of its capital, Higher Education Council in Turkey. It allowed all higher education institutions in Turkey to be gathered under the roof of Council of Higher Education. Academics and educational institutions were transformed into universities, and educational faculties, respectively, and conservatories and vocational schools were affiliated to universities. Just a brief information of the educational system of Turkey is, as you may be aware, around 18-year-old, you have to take a central examination to enroll in university. Either you choose vocational schools or four-year universities. Most of the departments are 4 years, but some, for example, medicine is 6 years, the veterinary and dentistry is 5 years. And then you get a Master of Arts or postgraduate studies, Master of Science, Master of Arts, and then PhDs. This is the main part of Turkish higher education system, as you may be aware. So, number of students of entire higher education, just to remind you, this actually is quite quite high. It's a huge number of students because there's a new openings and new universities, around 7 million students. This is PhDs, Master of Science, graduate students, vocational schools, and bachelor studies. So if you take a look, I think it can be seen, this Turkish map. I'm not aware whether you can easily see, but I can see here anyway. All Turkish cities, they got their own universities. But mainly, the Istanbul is the highest share. There are 61 universities in Istanbul. There are a lot in Ankara, in the capital, in Izmir, especially in, just central cities, much more universities. These are the figures. So academic staff, as you may see, 24,000 professors, associate professors, as you may see, and then the members with PhDs. So this is the interesting point, because Turkish higher education till the late 1980s is totally public service, right? So it's only the government provide the service. But after the Özal era, and its liberalization efforts, we know the red parts is private universities are open. And then after the AKP era, around maybe 40% of the universities are private funded universities, trust universities. As you may see, there's a important amount of private funded universities in Turkey nowadays. So what happened after the first signs of pandemic? What happened the pandemic in Turkey? In Globe, Turkish Council of Higher Education implemented the road plan on February 4. All institutions for higher education were asked to take necessary measures and announce precautionary measures, and in a month, in March 6. Same predictions to taken in higher education on travel and overseas meetings. We just banned. As March of 16, education at all universities was suspended for a week, with the decision taken by the government on March 12. During this period, opportunities and capacities of universities for distance education were determined. The head of Turkish Higher Education Council made following statement and enabled reactionary actions for the pandemic. Here are some main themes. The council decided that the digital sources and distance learning method will be used for theoretical courses and practice-based programs. So we take into account that the COVID-19 pandemic broke out after the spring term, stated that some students do not have the opportunity to follow the distance education. The council decided to enable students to suspend their registration for the spring term, 2019-2020 academic year. If they want, the period suspended will not be counted in the maximum time. In graduate education, the decision was left to the university's executive boards. In accordance with the request submitted by prospective teachers to the council, considering that students attending education departments participate in the practice-based programs, schools between 5-6 weeks. As a result of the works carried out in coordination with the National Education Ministry, it has been decided to compensate for the shortcomings in the practice-based programs through a written project, like preparation of the lessons, homework, and files. Students in the nursing, dentistry, and pharmacy programs can serve their internships, including the summer semester, in the appropriate time in health units by taking protective measures or complete their internships via distance education. The final decision is in faculties. So during the pandemic, many sectors have halted their operations and started part-time work and work on flexible hours. So in the universities, the same. It's still being evaluated that whether the senior medical students who complete the greater part of their education and had to halt their education would be able to work in university hospitals and health units operating under the Health Ministry as a doctor. Another issue to be affected by the pandemic is mass tests, such as a university entrance exam, because there is a central exams for university, foreign language test required for graduate education, selection exam for civil servants, and such. Even before Nunzio Cucciarelli, CEO of Cucciarelli Siemens, as a resources on higher education, said the global higher education sector should be flexible in their decisions, and the dates of applicants for exams can be delivered. Turkey had taken decisions in a similar direction. For example, this year some exams are cancelled, delayed, so on and so forth. At the point, it's observed that Turkey's higher education system is clear compared to many European countries, and if it has realized practice targeted minimum agreement, both the central structure and the flexible administration have played an important role in this. There are lots of structural changes in the agenda of higher education. These days, it's often stated that in the world literature this month that students will prefer to study in the cities and regions they live instead of going away. So education close to home will be preferred. According to this prediction, a new page will be opened in higher education. Despite all the challenges, the world has started to get used to this new system, the solid infrastructure of higher education in our country, no compensation in the minimum criteria, vacation process, central coordination with flexible administration system, and the disciplined operation of our universities play an important role in overcoming this challenge. Our surveys show that the online education process in Turkey is being successfully connected out in many universities. We thank our university presidents, academics, and students for the support and understanding the rocky road. Lastly, I want to remind you remarks of Paddy Musgrave, CEO of the Web Summit. Cambridge University was shut down due to Black Death in 1665. Isaac Newton decided to work from home, and he created the ultimate formula for Newton laws. So we will continue learning and working. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, and for this interesting presentation to see what is happening and ongoing on the Turkish territory during this pandemic. That's very insightful. Thank you.
So please remember, if we all help and do a little bit, it will make a big difference.